Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. So excited to be here with you. We have a really awesome, inspirational guest today that I'm so excited to introduce you to. She is Jeannette Kendall, and she is the founder of Success in Style. And that is just an amazing charity I've been involved with for years and years and years and years and years. So I'm tickled to introduce you to her. It's her charity, it's her baby, and we're going to start off. I'm going to introduce you, and I would love for you to share with everyone, please, what Success in Style is, please.
Oh, thank you, Leanne. So Success in Style is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2001 in the basement of my home. And basically, we help people in crisis to help them secure their jobs by providing their business attire. And we do coaching and mostly just dressing them so that they look fabulous for their job interviews, but not just look fabulous, feel great. And because of my background in fashion, we're able to help them understand what their personal style is so they don't walk out looking like Jeannette Kendall, but they go out looking like themselves. And which, adds to their confidence level, which is primarily what they're missing in their life because of the lives, unfortunately, that they've had.
So people are coming to you and you are basically putting them together with a professional image so they can go interview. And it's such an awesome thing to do. Would you mind sharing what your background was specifically, where you got the inspiration and why you decided to start doing this?
Okay, so we'll go back a few pages. So I am originally a fashion designer by trade. Fashion was part of my life since I was really young, and went to FIT in New York and worked in the garment industry for some time. And while I was doing that, I also did a lot of custom work for people. And I don't know if you've ever gotten custom work done, but most of the time when you get custom work done, it's either curtains or wedding dresses. And so I did a lot of both. And but then I married a Washingtonian and moved to an area that didn't have much of a garment industry. So I started doing a lot of custom sewing for people and a lot of fashion consultations for individuals, helping people understand what their personal style is and what looks great on them and that kind of thing. And so that kind of evolved because what ends up happening when you are helping people clean out their closets is that they will say, all of them will say the same thing, that now what do I do with all this stuff that I'm not going to use? And so finally, slow learner, I think, after about 10 years of hearing that, I'm like, wait a minute, Just for Success had just started, and they started setting up their studios around the country. And I thought, we could send Dress for Success some clothing because it's going to be, we'll have so much of it. And then I realized, well, why would we do that? We've got people in need in this area. And so that's when we started our studios. We just had one at the time. And, but what we found is that we needed money to do this. And so we had to fundraise. And as a small organization, it was very difficult to raise money. We thought it'd be super easy to raise money. People would throw money at us because it was such a great idea. But then about a month after we started, 9/11 happened. And so, goodness gracious, why would we get people's money, when there was some serious things going on in the world. So we struggled through that and started doing these enormous fundraisers, but for a small organization, it was very difficult to actually see our clients when we're planning these big, fabulous events. So eventually what happened is we continued to take clothing, continued to do these fundraisers, but along the way, we were getting so much clothing, and we would ask people specifically for business attire only. But what we would get is everything: bathing suits, bras, sundresses, those types of things. And so we we had hoped to figure out how we could sell those items. Now, the space we were in was 200 square feet. I mean, we're talking a shoebox, and we didn't have money for anything. So, but someone donated another shoebox of a space for us to have a retail store. So that's where we started, and we were there for, that was in 2008, and we started selling clothes, and we knocked it out of the park. We made it this adorable little shop, and I hated thrift shops myself, just because, not because of the concept of purchasing used clothing, but because they always smelled bad and they were a mess, and I just couldn't handle the mess, and so I could never do it. So I thought, if I do a thrift shop, it's going to be my way. And we just made it adorable, super cute, and everything. We also didn't want to tax our current volunteers who were working very hard to suit up our clients. So we decided we would enlist teenagers. So it was entirely teenagers run. It was only on the weekends. And we sold everything. We didn't even have a cash register. So I figured if everything was $5, they could do that math. And so that's how we started with teens running it. And it became so popular that every weekend there'd be a line out the door. It was quite exciting for us, because then we didn't have to do as many fundraisers or that scale, because we were actually making a fair amount of money. And then our current location is the historic Savage Mill. When they got wind of what we were doing, they invited us to come here, and that's kind of where we really blossomed and started growing.
It's such a brilliant thing that you did on so many levels, and it's so natural to you because you've been running it for so long. But look, you became self-funding, so the clothes that weren't going professional, you now have a little boutique. You involved teenagers and you got them doing something productive. And personally, as a mom of a teenager, I'd much rather my kid did something that involved helping other people and a charity with burgers, or like there's no depth in that. So you're teaching people about giving back in the community, you're involving the kids, you're self-funding. And I know one of my friends got a really crazy cute outfit there for like nothing. So they can go in if they're a client, or they can donate to help clients, or they can go in and something that's worth a ton of money they can get for nothing, and it'll support your charity. So I got to commend you, because one of the things I was so excited about talking to you is that you have survived and are still open during COVID. And I know a similar charity that many people may have heard of is Dress for Success. And a lot of the Dress for Success around the country, they're closed. And you, genius lady here, have your own organization, and it's still up and running. And I'm sure you had to change some things. You mind? Because a lot of people watching are adjusting things in their own business and trying to keep their What, if you don't mind sharing, what did you do that has made you able to continue to function?
So it has been very challenging. We normally have a lot of volunteers working, and we've evolved from the teen volunteers to adult volunteers. And so, because we're open 7 days a week, and of course the kids can't help 7 days a week, they can only help on the weekends. So we do still get the teens, but they're doing more of the back work. And so most of our volunteers over the years are probably 99% of them are retired people, and mostly and all women. We advertise, we don't care what gender they are, but only women come to us. But anyway, so far. But anyway, but during COVID, what has happened is that either these retired people have pre-existing conditions, or they're not comfortable coming out to the retail world, or they are watching their children's children, because their children, have to get back to work, and the daycare situation is a mess. And so anyway, so we have maybe 1% of our volunteers coming back. So we have a few employees, and so we 4, including myself. Yeah, I think we're 4 or 5. Sorry. But so some of them were part-time, so now they're all full-time. So I'm actually paying more, but we're alive. We're stable. You know, it's been a little rough, and we've eaten up a lot of our savings, especially in the beginning. But so we had plans for a mobile unit and to expand our bridal shop and all those kinds of things. So those things are going to have to be put on hold for a while, but that's okay. We're just extremely thankful that we're here and able to continue. And, you know, the reason it takes so much manpower for us is because we've expanded. We first started with Charity's Closet as one of our little stores. This is aside from the mission. So we have Charity's Closet, and then where everything's $5, and Phil's Closet is the men's version of that. And then we have a store called Charity's First Picks, where we take all of our designer clothes, couture clothing, and furs, and the leather items, those high-end pieces, and we price them accordingly and sell those. So that's our upscale shop. And then we have a bridal shop, Cherie Sustain. We just recently rebranded it. So it's currently Cherie Sustainable Bridal. And we sell wedding dresses to brides. And, you know, we're very passionate about being sustainable. You know, so we've got the two things that we're very passionate about: helping people who are in crisis, but also our sustainable world. And so anyway, so we're super excited about that. But anyway, I think went down a road.
No, it's great. It's funny because, you know, I think a lot of people have heard of Dress for Success, or they know there's things like this. You know, I had the privilege many years ago, many moons before COVID and all this other stuff happened. You had run a couple fashion shows, and it was really amazing. And I think that your way of really getting people to understand the depth of it was so powerful, because I went to one of the shows, and the, you know, models came out in clothing that was donated, and they told their story of what you had done for them. And there were people who had run from domestic violence, people who were recovering from cancer, people who had gone through all these things, and they were trying to get back out in the workforce. And each one of them talked about not only how good you made them feel by dressing them up and getting them all together for an interview, but, you know, the confidence that you had built in them. And I'll never forget one of the shows I was at, somebody came out wearing something that I had donated. And I sobbed, and I was like, oh my God, here's my closet. Like I was like, oh my God, because to see that, you know, like so many people who are in this group, we're blessed. We have plenty of clothes, we have lots of stuff, but, you know, something that we may not wear that much, or, you know, maybe our weight went up or down during COVID or something, but something that we're not wearing, like that one little thing can change another woman's life.
Yes.
I saw so many things, and I can't take the people watching this back in time with me to that event. So would you be so kind maybe to share one of your favorite stories of, you know, somebody who went through the program that you do and what it did for them? I think that would be amazing.
Thank you. So there's a lot. One person stands out in my mind right now. So we see men and women clients. And one of our male clients came to us. He had gone to hairdressing school, and he wanted to be a hairdresser or a barber or both. And so we got him all suited up, and he was really down on his luck. I guess he had put forth all his money towards school. I'm not sure of the circumstances, but he had a family, and his wife was working, but he was having trouble getting a job. So anyway, we got him all polished up. We gave him a voucher to get his hair cut, so we didn't have to do it himself. And anyway, so he went on this job interview and got a job with a stylist. Well, not only a stylist, he owned his own shop. And he was like an apprentice there. And so he talked his boss into getting coupons for our clients so that they could get their haircuts for free. And so he worked for them for several years, that person for several years. And now he's got his own salon. So
Really?
anyway, just lovely, lovely person, but that he had this, he was so grateful that he didn't want to take without giving back. And we would never ever ask anybody to do that, but that was just his own initiative. And it always just kind of moved me because he was so, so grateful. And it's not just throwing clothes at people, we really take the care to make sure that they feel comfortable in those clothes, that they feel like them in those clothes. So, so I think that, he got it, and he really is very grateful.
I remember one of the things that really struck me as, when I was first introduced to your charity is that you kind of set it up like a store when
Yes.
they go in there. Would you share that with people so that they feel good as they get their
Sure.
help and everything? I thought that was so brilliant to do that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we one of my partners, she calls it a Nordstrom without a cash register. So, and that's our goal. We want to look super fabulous, but we, of course, we're very frugal. But I guess because I went to fashion school, I don't know, but I have a decent sense of aesthetics and design, so it carries forth in that. And we just recently, right before COVID, actually, we redid our main studio here. So thankfully we got that all done, and it's really gorgeous. I'm not sitting in that. This is our office that's way off on the other side. So I kind of wanted to have this meeting there so you could see it, but it's all the doors are glass, and I didn't want to have my mask on during this because
I appreciate that.
Anyway, so I'm in a enclosed area, so nobody can see me without my mask. But anyway, but it is beautiful. We want to make sure that when they walk through the threshold of success and style, that they feel like they are being pampered and taken care of, that there's no messes anywhere, that it's clean, that it looks like a really beautiful shop, and we don't, we do that I spend a lot of time at the at Restore, do you know Restore? The Habitat for Humanity store. They have stores, sort of like what we do. And so we purchase a lot of our stuff from there, and so quite fabulous.
Excellent.
Say so. I'll send you some pictures and you can share them.
Oh, love that. We could post them in here. That would be great.
Okay.
And I know that many of us, with the extra time we all have at home right now, I've been working on I was cleaning out my closet a couple weeks ago, and I have this stack of things, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. But if I'm really being honest, I think that most of us are realizing now that we're in our house that we have excess. We have more than anybody needs anyway. And if you run a successful business, it's easy to accumulate things. So, I know there are people watching this that are in Maryland, and then there are people who are watching it who are in other parts of the country who might be inspired by this, or, they don't have a Dress for Success or something locally. So if somebody wants to contribute, what are the things they do? Can they contribute financially? Can they ship things to you? Can they drop things off to you? If there's some way they can support you, what are options?
So yes, so if you are local, we're in the historic Savage Mill, and if you go to our website, which is successinstyle.org, there's directions there and a map. The historic Savage Mill, where we are, we're so fortunate. We're in a mill from the 1800s that went out of business after World War II because the cotton that they produced was for warships, canvas for warships, and so the ships had changed to have less sails and that kind of stuff by then, and so it went out of business. And then the person who bought it, his son still owns the Savage Mill, so it's this beautiful historic building that we're in. So it's just lovely. But anyway, but it's a little difficult to get to, so follow those directions. But otherwise, if you want to mail us items, you can send them in the mail. That's also on our website, but it's 8600 Foundry Street, Savage, Maryland, and it's the New Weave Building. You have to write that on there, otherwise. But anyway, you can put Success and Style there. And we take really all men's and women's clothing and accessories, including wedding dresses that are less than 5 years old. So, and also too, like if any of our listeners are connected with a bridal shop or know of a bridal shop or know a bride, young brides can donate their dresses. No offense, but nobody wants the dresses from people my age.
Or mine.
Everybody thinks their dress is timeless and beautiful, but that's a myth. So
That was
your
so
mother told you.
correct the way you said that.
Nobody wants their mother's dress. Don't let your daughter preserve her dress. Have her let the dress dance again. While it's still, otherwise it just goes to waste and thrown in the landfill after replots. So what good is that?
So let's see, they can drop off. Now, what days, if somebody's in Maryland, what days do you take drop-offs?
Right now, just Saturdays, because we can't handle the whole week-long thing. We just do not have the volunteers to handle it. So Saturdays only, but if you're shipping them, obviously ship them any day.
And you take clothes, shoes, purses, jewelry.
Yes, all of the above.
Any unopened like beauty makeup items too? Do you take things like that?
Yes, and we actually take underwear and socks. Those items have to be new, but sometimes we purchase things or get things as gifts and we don't use them. So definitely we use those as well. And also wigs, like we use wigs on our clients. Some of our girls are coming out of prison and maybe their hair has been damaged from the lack of nutrition or whatever it is, or maybe they don't have money to get their hair cut and it's just a quick fix. So we do use wigs. So if anybody knows of people that have wigs, we take those as well. I mean, they have to be in good condition or new, but they can be used as long as they're in good condition.
That's really also great for like a cancer survivor or something.
Yes.
That too.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. We've had a lot of cancer patients. And we actually, we work very closely with a specialty bra store in the area called Bra La La, and they've given us, the prosthetics for the breasts. And so we don't have a ton of them, but every once in a while we'll have somebody that has needs one, and so we've even have those. So that's great. Yeah, and also too, that Bra La La is amazing. I'm gonna give a shout out to them because when we have a hard to fit, they provide a lot of our bras for us, but specifically if we've got somebody like, let's say is a size 54A, like we'll call them and they will get that for us. Yeah, and they never charge us or anything. They're just really a huge supporter of us. So anyway, those kind of connections are invaluable. And think of how well that girl felt. And we ran, it's about a 15-minute drive from here. So I got her on the phone. She says, I have one. I were tearing over there. So by the time the end of the consultation was, I had the bra in hand. So but for someone that doesn't have anything, usually has a whole bunch of kids and they've got any money, it's going to go towards them. And so anyway, oopsie.
Yeah. And then the other thing I thought was interesting is if somebody works at a store or they own a business where they have samples and things like that, or floor samples, things that are excess like that, that helps you also, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My thing just said I have a low battery. Do you mind if I?
Oh, we're almost done. You're okay. You can plug in though. I don't want to lose you. So while she's doing that, I think what would be amazing is, look, obviously I love this charity. I've known them for years and years and years, but wherever you are, if you are, watching this, all of us have extra stuff. And while we are blessed enough to have extra stuff, there are people who do not have one dignified, nice thing to wear for a basic job interview. And they've been through a lot in life. And it gives us a heck of an opportunity to help. So, if you're inspired by Jeanette and it's not too difficult to send something there, great. But if not, I think she represents what we can do together as women. And there's, there might be a dress for success or something in your area. But I just think, there's hundreds and hundreds of women in here. And if we each took a couple articles of clothing, it would be amazing. So on the business side, it's wonderful to send that to Dress for Success. But on the success and style side, you may have some outfit that you bought once that you're probably never going to wear again, or, something that you have for a special occasion, or something that you just don't fit in anymore. And they can use that and sell that to fund success and style. So I know I'm going to send you a box. I'm excited.
Thank you.
The truth of the matter is most of us nowadays, we're only dressed from here up anyway. And
Yeah. I have my underwear on.
That's twice since last March. It's crazy, Well, thank you. I really appreciate you sharing what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing, but your creativity, the way you designed it, and like I said, the way you involve teens and the way you involve the community, and the butterfly effect, that story you shared about that gentleman, and how, because you helped him, he's gone off and helped other people. And that's honestly what I think this group is about. Each time that one of us does something, you don't know the impact. So Jeanette, I honor you for what you continue to do, and that you have kept your doors open during COVID, because there is not a lot of that going on right now. So hopefully, you'll continue to have great success, and we'll all be back without masks at some point soon. But in the meanwhile, thank you for the difference you're making for so many women. And I've seen it firsthand, and it's just mind blowing.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity to share. I'm really thankful for that.
I'm very excited you're here, and we try and wrap up around a half an hour. So unfortunately it goes by like that.
Yeah.
But what we'll do, how about we'll post your shipping address and your hours and everything in there. So if anybody wants to send anything, and they can send like a necklace they don't wear, it doesn't even have to be a big, huge, if it's expensive. They can take like some jewelry or something like that and send it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for your time and your leadership and having such a great impact. And everyone, we will be back next Tuesday, as we say, live at 5. And while you're out there, if there's anything you can do to uplift a woman, either in this situation or any other one, I encourage you to do so. It's the beginning of a new year. And the more we come together, the more of an impact we can have as a group. So thank you so much, Jeanette, and I'll see you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.